It is Sportswrap Overtime, but we're going to call this one a special show. We do these twice a month. There it is, Sportswrap Overtime Special. It is a 2025 college football preview. Welcome in to the WAVY Plus Digital Studio. I'm Craig Loper, joined by the whole WAVY sports team, Brian Parsons, longtime producer, James Kattato, our sports reporter. And we are here to discuss our local 757 teams as they Kickoff is right around the corner. Norfolk State kicks off next week. ODU kicks off next week. We'll also touch on UVA and Tech down the line. So we got a lot to get into, gentlemen.
Summertime done come and gone. Oh my.
It's over. It always goes quick. It always goes quick. We've been at it all, a bunch of camp practices. We kind of try to each week build up and get out to camp and talk to coaches and talk to players just to get a feel for, the upcoming season. And you guys have been out and about, and we're going to start at Norfolk State. James, You've been around them a lot, and this is a big year because of who is their head coach and sort of, trying a lot more hope and potential around the program right now.
Yeah, I think first things first, when you think about Norfolk State football, the intensity of the practices off the bat, I just want to touch on that, right? The coaches are yelling. It's loud. Vic is not the type of guy to yell. Right. He is the hand around you type of coach that walks you around the field and talks to you about what you can do better. But they're fast. They're explosive. The defense is getting after it. The offense, they're having battles. I think I've been out to 3 or 4 practices this year. They're a lot of fun. Yeah. I will say that. I don't know what their record is going to be, but I mean.
Well, let's talk about what their record was last year. Michael Vick and the new head coach, first-year head coach, inherits a team that went 4-8 last season, and they were 2-3 in the MEAC. Yep. And they had some close losses. Like they played Towson on Thursday night. That's the first game of the season. They played Towson last year, a CAA team, and only lost by 5 points. Right.
Yeah.
So
it's hey, look. The excitement is what everyone's talking about, right? ESPN's First Take is coming next Thursday morning. Stephen A. Smith, Molly Kiram. You expect Eccles to be packed for that. And but I will say, we in the media, we talk a lot, but I think we're all tired of talking season. Now it's time to play the games, man. We want to see Vic operate a game, how he uses timeouts, when he decides to go for it on 3rd and short, 4th and short. How does the defense look? How do they run to the ball? How's it all going to unfold? We expect a great crowd. We expect great energy, and that's all the headline stuff that we've seen in the offseason. But it's time to play the games when it comes down to it.
The buzz is going to be unlike anything that I've probably ever seen in my career in covering sports in Hampton Roads. This is huge.
Yeah. Local legend returns, man. It's a big deal.
And the unanswered questions, is he going to be a good head coach? We really don't know.
Yeah. You don't know what you're going to get.
I hope he is. We all hope we all hope he will be, but we don't know.
We don't know. The X factor is we have no idea what's going to happen. That's what kind of makes it really exciting. Let's get to a soundbite from Coach Vic. We talked to him kind of not sporadically. We've talked to him throughout the summer, and this is on what he's learned going into his first year as a head coach. If James wants to hit play on it for us. You got it, James?
Yep.
Yeah, I learned that I've been very sound in my decision-making, understanding what it takes to, each and every day make this team better, keep them going, keep the energy going, keep building the culture, keep getting to know everybody from a personal standpoint, and, the tough decisions has got to be made, being able to make them and make them with, with accuracy. And so, very pleased that, I've been challenged up until this point, and is only going to get magnified. So I'm ready for it. I'm excited about it. I won't say it's anxiety there, but I learned from lining up behind the center and playing quarterback that being anxious and anxiety is good.
Little bit of anxiety is good. I like the way that sounds.
I even in our industry where everything's so deadline driven, and I say fear is a great motivator.
Yeah.
The fear of missing your time slot, things like that.
Right. So We've always said, Brian Parsons, on those 15-minute shows, we've never not figured it out to hit slot for time.
I know. It's like when you're stuck in traffic going somewhere and people are like, oh, this is terrible. It's like, well, you're not still there. You're eventually going to get out of it. It's just so many unanswered questions. It's so exciting. I can't wait to see what Dick Price Stadium's going to be like in that first game when there's going to be 30,000 people under the lights. Yeah. Get there.
7 o'clock kick.
Get there early.
Get there early.
Off the top of your head,
very early.
Right.
When is the last time that Dick Price has been wall to wall?
The first game they ever played.
Yeah.
In 1997.
As a D1.
That was their first game as a D1 school, the first time they opened up the stadium.
Right, first time they opened
Yeah,
the stadium.
and in 1997 was the first year
I mean,
of the
just
MEAC.
a general conversation here. What would a successful season look like, man? I mean, coming off the 4-8 season, 6 wins, 7 wins.
I think anything over 4, right?
Yeah.
Because you look at
Improvement.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since
Right.
Norfolk State has been a prominent contender. They had that 2011, 2012 conference championship that got stripped away, right? But I mean,
Yeah. Why say that?
No, it didn't
stripped away. No, they won the conference championship. Who
They-
cares what the NCAA says?
Right. I mean, I think anything above 4. I think 6 wins.
I think
realistic.
anything improved from Dawson Odom's previous seasons.
Yeah.
Right? That's an improvement.
Six wins.
Towson, Virginia State, Rutgers, Sacred Heart, Wagner, Hampton, Wofford, South Carolina State, Dale State, and Philly, Central, Morgan State, Howard. So
Yeah, let's talk about that game in Philly.
Yeah,
and
cool.
why is that an important game? Why is that game at the Lincoln Financial Field?
right, yeah. Vic and is the head coach of Norfolk State. The Delaware State coach, of course, is Deshaun Jackson, his former teammate in Philadelphia for a few years. And those guys, man, being the celebrities and athletes that they are, made it work. I guess called some people up in Philly. Is that the Lurie family who makes that decision? Is that the city of Philadelphia? Like, how does that all go about it? So they just made some calls and said, we want to come play where we had some of the best years of their career.
I wanna go.
They made it work. Yeah, it's going to be.
I wanna go.
It's Thursday night.
I love
so-
Philly. I love going to Philly.
There's
you
a
just go up
possibility.
13, you're there in 5 hours.
5
the stadium's right off the interstate.
Yeah.
Scenic drive.
We need to go.
Yeah. It's one of them things where,
So let's go through the schedule here. So Towson,
yeah,
okay, that's going to be a tough game. That's a tough game.
it's a tough game.
It's a tough game. Towson was solid last
I
year.
lean towards Towson. Well, but then again, the energy of the night.
I think Norfolk State's going
Yeah,
to win.
the energy of the
I
night
think
might
they're
give it
gonna
to
win.
Norfolk State.
They're going to beat Virginia State.
They're going to beat Virginia State this year.
They're not going to beat Rutgers.
No.
At Rutgers, too. Yeah.
Sacred
that's-
Heart's a team that's given Norfolk State a problem.
Sacred Heart beat them last year.
Where's Wagner?
Like 2 out of 3 years. Where
Wagner's
is
in New York.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know.
So they're going to have to go to Wagner. That sounds like a win,
Sounds
right?
like a win.
Yeah.
Without knowing much about Wagner.
Hampton, which
Goes either way.
we'll get to later.
It's going to go either way.
That's a toss-up. Craig, you've been to that game the past few years. That's been crazy.
It'd be a good one. It'd be a really
That
good
double
one, man.
overtime game
Yeah.
you were at that one year.
It's great. Yeah. No, it's a great environment. That one will be packed out too.
The Wofford, South Carolina State, Dell State at Lincoln Financial
South Carolina
Field.
State is coming off a great year. I don't know what they're working with this year, but they're coming off a solid,
Good rebuild
really
year for
good
them.
year.
They're always
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, they're pretty always.
And they
they're
travel
up there.
well. They always bring a lot of fans when they come here.
South Carolina State.
North Carolina Central at North Carolina Central,
That's probably a loss.
home to Morgan State. Then they close the season at Howard.
It just goes back to what we said. It can go. All this can go whatever way. We really don't know.
No.
we don't know what it's going to look like.
This next piece of sound that we have with Michael Vick, this was a little bit after the first soundbite we had, and this is him and one of his players, Izzy Carter, the quarterback, who was a 3-star transfer from South Florida. This is them talking about what to expect in the upcoming season.
Keep believing, keep bringing the energy every day. We know that our camp is only going to get harder before we break camp. The guys acknowledging that and embracing it, and it's camp. It is what it is.
We're just ready to make a statement. This team is bought into everything. Their mindset has changed with everything, from the classroom to the on the field stuff to off the field stuff. Nobody gets in trouble. It's a bunch of great guys, great dudes. They're humble and they're hungry.
Humble and hungry.
There
I
it
like
is. Izzy Carter, we were impressed with the practices you've seen from him, James.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is going to be his elusiveness in the pocket.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, his ability to get in and out, and then he has a nice arm too. There was one play in particular that stuck out to me where he was leaving the pocket, and then he had a tackler coming on his blind side, and they had pads on. Right. So they were hitting not super hard.
Well, they're not going to hit the quarterback.
They're not going to hit the quarterback,
Yeah, right.
but still, he stopped on a dime, juked the other direction, and then ran into the end zone another 30 yards.
Yep.
Right. So, I mean, I think his speed is his biggest weapon. I had a full conversation with him on Sportswrap sit downs.
That's right.
Super cool guy.
Yeah.
Super level headed. He seems like, so he actually told me, and this is really interesting, pretty much his entire high school and college career, between his high school career in California and then his time at USF, he's pretty much played in a dual quarterback system his entire career. So now this is a more of an interesting look for him, that he's going to be the QB1
Interesting.
in the system.
And that position has been a little shaky at Norfolk State over the last
time.
couple of years.
Yeah, after
ever
Pootie-
since Pootie Carter
After
left.
Pootie Carter left, who was a 4-year starter for them, basically.
He was really good.
Yeah. No,
He'll
I'm
have Otto
excited.
Coons, though.
Yeah, he's going to be a backup.
He's still
you got to experience backup, and I'd be very curious. Some of these transfers, with this Vic stuff, sort of like Dion, you look for the guys that are, big P4 bounce backs, they're called, and those guys got to contribute and like compete and be your ballers, so to speak, out there. Like, you're going to need contributions from some of those guys. Whatever transfers that bounce back, you need them produced, right? If they're a bigger, faster athlete than 90% of the guys, you need them to perform like that. So
I wonder what Coach Vic's role is going to be
on game day.
Yeah, is he going to be
not calling plays?
I mean, he's going to let his guys do the thing, and he's just going to kind of oversee everything and then make those tough calls, right? Are we going for it on fourth down, or are we going for two? Or
the thing I always appreciate, because we all watch enough football, what I always appreciate about a good head coach is you got to be like 3 steps ahead on the sideline. Like, you got to see things before they get there. Like, if you're on the minus 30 and you're down, call it, whatever the number is, 4, right? And then, or call it you're up 5, right? If you're driving and you say, all right, if we score, are we going to go for 2? Are we going to kick it for 1? Right? Like, those little decisions need to be made 3, 4, 5 plays ahead.
Yeah.
So your coordinators, or the big one is like being in 4-down territory. That's a big one for a head coach. Like, you need to get on the speaker with the headset with your OC and say, hey, we're in 4-down territory. That means you can call 3rd down differently than you would if you don't know that. Like, little stuff like that is where head coaching shows up.
Sure.
That is the key. Or your defensive coordinator, like calling out a blitz to take a team out of field goal range. Maybe a team's in field goal range and a field goal puts them up, and like, hey, dial it up. Like, let's get them out of field goal range. Stuff like that that's a good.
It's not just new for Vic either. It's an entirely new coaching staff that has not been in the positions that they're in either.
Right.
I mean, like the one that sticks out to us is the guy that came from EC Glass, I think his name was, right?
I believe so.
But it's just like a lot of guys who have NFL experience in terms of like playing, but then on the high school scene or like the low level college scene. So it's very interesting to see how Vic dials it up for them, but also how they dial it up for him.
Yeah. And the thing I say about the MEAC, and it's perplexing that Norfolk State hasn't been more successful in football in the MEAC. I mean, we're at the point now, there's 6 teams in this league.
Yeah.
Folks.
Yeah.
There are 6 teams.
You got to compete.
Some leagues have 18 teams, and it's tough to win out of 18 teams.
Sunbelt is huge.
They've only got to beat out 5 other teams to win this conference. And we're talking, true. I mean, at South Carolina State and North Carolina Central, probably the 2 that are probably favored to take it home.
I feel like the Howard game can always go either way, too.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
At Howard.
Of course.
DC, that's always a good one.
I just think with the hype, it's going to be interesting to see what happens after that first game.
Yep.
And are they going to be able to sustain this hype?
If he comes out and they play an exciting down to the wire game and they win, and then they come back
even
with
if they
Virginia
don't
State.
beat Towson.
Right. But I'm saying, exciting, competitive, good game, good environment, and Virginia State comes to town next week. That's probably going to be just as packed.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
And then your home games are Sacred Heart.
Yeah.
South Carolina State and Morgan State.
Yeah. I mean, it's limited, right? Limited. So that Link game takes one away.
You're right.
Playing at the Link, you take one away naturally. So,
or I guess that's probably technically a Del State home game.
I guess, I guess how they divvied up, right? But
yeah,
still a neutral
by
site,
being such a small league, you're forced to play these games like Wofford and Wagner and Sacred Heart, and I don't know.
Wofford's in the CAA? Where are they at? What are they in?
No, they're not in the CAA.
I thought they were. No,
they're Big South or SoCon.
Oh, but William and Mary played them a couple years ago, and because I went to that game.
They played them the past couple
years. It was a
years.
non-con game.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was thinking they were the CAA. I guess I didn't realize it was non-con. But yeah, it's going to be exciting. We're there. So much anticipation. We'll see what happens when they roll the ball out. That's a basketball analogy, but you know what I mean. When they put the football out there and they kick it off, we'll all have something different to talk about as opposed to just potential anymore. We'll get to see the real stuff. So, excited for it. Very excited for it. Let's take a commercial break, and then we're going to come back and talk about Old Dominion on the other side, the Monarchs at 2025, getting ready for them. Okay, we're back on a Sportswrap Overtime Special, the 2025 college football preview. Brian Parsons, James Kattato. I'm Craig Loper, and we are here. Just got done talking about Norfolk State. Now let's go cross town. Old Dominion, the Monarchs. They had media day yesterday. All three of us were there for that. August 30th at Indiana is their season opener. And this year,
Picture Day.
Great. Yeah, right. Exactly. What an interesting schedule, man. Opening up with another P4 team. They're going to play at Virginia Tech versus Liberty home, North Carolina Central home. And ODU.
Ricky Ronnie, he was late to the team picture. Look at that.
To his credit, I think he's always been the last one every
They were
year.
heckling him. They were telling him to get over there. And when he walked out there, I said, "Hey, Ricky, you know what you need to do? You need to go 1-0 in that picture."
That's
man.
right. That's right. That is the mentality.
mantra.
He did. He went 1-0 in taking that picture.
You know how they're organized. Did you ever notice how they
No.
organized?
What's going on
By
here?
the numbers, like 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2. See how the guys left to right? They do it by the numbers.
It looks like less guys when you see them bunched together like that.
Right? Yeah, that doesn't look like a huge team. But I don't know. Yeah, what do we think of the Monarchs this year? Just on paper, picked to finish 5th in the Sun Belt preseason media poll out of 7 teams in the Sun Belt East.
Too low, in my opinion.
Okay.
But you know, the preseason polls,
Of
right?
course,
So
yeah.
you can't really take the preseason polls too
No, no.
seriously.
5-7 last season, 4-4 in conference play.
Okay. All right.
Season.
So right down
That's
the
what
middle.
they're coming off of.
Yeah, right down the middle. A lot of close games. The last 2 years, they've led the country in one-score games, and that is crazy. Ricky said, I think 14 of the last 16 Sun Belt games have been one possession.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
Oh, okay, got it.
But you know, Ricky Ronnie, this is his 6th year as a head coach, technically.
Yeah,
5th
fifth
as
season.
an on-field coach.
Yeah.
And it's been successful.
Yeah.
Not super successful.
Yeah.
Not over the top, holy cow, Wisconsin wants to hire Ricky Ronnie as its next head
Right.
coach successful.
Right.
He's still here. They have not had a winning record since he's been there. They've been to 2 bowl games,
Yep.
but they have not had a winning record. And I asked him at the media day yesterday, I was like, is this a make or break year for you, Ricky Ronnie?
Yep.
I mean, I think every year is a make or break year. I mean, I don't ever go into a year and think like, well, if we, stink this year, everything's going to be fine. And I never think to myself, if we're great this year, my whole life's going to be satisfied. I mean, that's not how any football coach goes into it. That's not how any competitor goes into it. I mean, every year I go into is make or break.
I can dig what he's saying, right?
Yeah.
I mean, every year is a
Fair.
make or break year,
Yeah.
and
You care. He cares. You want every year is a make or break year because he's trying to do his job.
they're just teetering right there on the edge though with so many of these games. And one of the big things coming back is the quarterback,
Yep.
Colton Joseph, who
Yep.
looking up his stats, you realize he had 11 rushing touchdowns
I
last
do,
year?
yeah. 11 rushing, 11 passing. He split right down the middle.
That is wild to me.
22 total. Yep.
The 11
In 8 games.
650 yards rushing.
Yep, in 8 games.
He only threw 5 picks.
I'd be very curious if you want to go deeper analytically, how many of them were design runs and how much were off script, like ad lib. Like this right here, that's a design run. Oh, well, design pop pass. Sorry.
They love to do that in the red zone.
Yep, yeah,
They
and
do.
it's a really popular trend in college football
Yeah.
right now. A lot of teams.
Well, it's if you see the moment, right? I mean,
Well, that's design too. That's not just him, Tim Tebow in it.
oh, there's not an option there.
No.
That's
Well, maybe it is. It might be an IPO. Maybe it is.
They did it with Grant too, to be fair.
Yeah, maybe it is. I'm not sure.
now a lot of these receivers that you're going to be seeing in this footage are not going to be back, and they basically lost all of the receivers. But the guys that they brought in, Craig, what do we notice at media day? How big some of these guys
got
were.
big guys. Yes, Sydney. I don't know his last name. Sydney, number 13, transferred from Tulane. Man, he looks like
Like
he's
a basketball player.
6'6".
Yeah, he was huge.
And Colton was saying it's good because you can kind of those 50-50 balls might become 75-25. You know what I mean? When
Yeah.
you throw it to a big guy like that he can snatch it right out of the air.
He's got the ability to be, in my opinion, without knowing too deep on the other Sun Belt quarterbacks, but it's like he's got the potential to be first team all Sun Belt because of the numbers he'll be able to put up rushing and passing.
I will tell you this. Brian and I were talking about this in the office yesterday. JMU loves Alonzo Barnett III.
Yes.
And he is very talented. They came here last year, right?
Yes.
Aired ODU out, but he'd been doing that throughout the entire conference. And I thought it was interesting because they picked up Matt Sluka from UNLV, the kid who held out at UNLV looking for more
JMU
NIL.
did? Sluka's at JMU?
Yeah, so Sluka's the backup at JMU. But
Got
there
it.
was I thought there'd be more of a QB battle, but they're really high on Alonzo Barnett.
Yeah, I mean, we think that just because we hear the Sluka and the $100,000 in the UNLV, but the reality is nobody's seen him play. I mean, but we've seen Barnett play, and we know how good he is. Yeah. Why would we assume Sluka's going to go in there and take his job?
Bigger school.
Why would he take the incumbent's job?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, just coming from the bigger school. And
let's get to your conversation.
Yeah. So I spoke with Colton. We interviewed him one-on-one yesterday at SB Ballard Stadium underneath the stadium because it was raining. We were not on the field.
It was pouring.
And just talking to Colton about getting ready for the 2025 season. Here's a much part of that conversation.
Well, it was really exciting when I got in, and we went off to a hot start there. But it didn't end how we wanted it to, and that kind of motivates me every day to get better and work on myself and lead better and all that kind of stuff to just help the team get better and ultimately win more games and come out there and just be our best.
You are the solidified starter, Ricky said. What does that do for you mentally this whole offseason to know kind of you're the guy going to be taking snaps at QB1?
I mean, mentally, you can't change much. You got to be chill back there. You got to be calm. We still compete every day in practice, so not much is going to change. I can't get complacent. I can't, I'm the starter now, get it let off the hook. But I'm still going to be doing everything I have before, and my mindset's not any different. And just going to keep grinding every day and, preparing for Indiana and, gearing up for the season.
The last 2 years, one-score games have been the theme for Old Dominion football, man. How do you get over that hump and, win some of those tight down to the wire, especially in the Sun Belt?
Just got to get gritty and, everyone's got to, bring that dog out when it's time to shine in the moment. And we just got to bring it our all and not let down when we're up.
Talk to me about your process, because you are a dual-threat quarterback. When you decide to pull it and run, how do you go about it? Just instinctual? Is there anything you see? It's kind of just play-by-play, I guess. But talk to me about maybe what goes through your head.
I'd say it's purely instinctual. So, as a quarterback, you have that, mental, clock in your head as soon as you snap the ball. And, instinct takes over. I go through my reads, and if my reads aren't there, then, I just try to, extend plays or, just, find a way to make the call right even when you're in a bad situation or, someone's not getting open. You always got to try to, just instinctually.
Should have won a lot of games.
Just want to get the first down and keep drives going. So you kind of just, just keep playing your hardest, and it all it adds together, I guess.
What are you most looking forward to when it comes to getting to Bloomington and playing against the Hoosiers?
I'm most excited to just go play football, man. It's been 12 months or, however long, 8 months. Yeah, 8 months since the last game. Just super stoked and excited to get out there and just play ball, man, for sure.
Super stoked, man.
Super stoked.
For sure.
California surfer kid, man, who apparently does his off seasons in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, he moved to Texas. He told us that in spring.
Does his family live to Texas?
They said they got out of California and they went to Texas.
Okay. Well, Colton's exciting, man. He's ripped up, man. He's built for, he looks like a new age quarterback. He's jacked, man. He's cut up, man. So he can run it, he can sling it. Offensive coordinator, Kevin Decker, right, doing his thing, maybe comfortable in that system. So in 8 games, he was electric. I mean, he was electric. You guys were at more games than me in person. I saw a lot of highlights, but when he got it going, man, he was electric. I mean, but for the Red Dogs, is it fair to say up and down sometimes, though, right? I don't know, up and down at times. When he was on, super on, and then sometimes it wasn't where you'd like it to be consistent.
It would just feel like sometimes it would feel like the offense would stall.
There you go.
At times.
Right. Yeah.
But overall, I mean, you saw the potential. What was, okay, somebody correct me. What is he?
Oh, like a junior?
Redshirt sophomore.
He's a redshirt. Okay, thank you.
Redshirt sophomore.
He's a redshirt sophomore. So, I mean, I honestly, during the offseason, I thought he performed so well. I was like, there's no way Old Dominion is going to be able to keep him or afford him. I thought somebody was going to come in and scoop him up, but somehow they came up with the money. And I'm hearing behind the scenes that ODU's NIL is very competitive in the Sun Belt.
Okay.
They've got a lot of, they're spending money to remain relevant amongst their peers.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's look at the schedule, man.
Yeah. Let's go.
Totally.
Let's go over it. What do we got
James,
here?
do you want to do our game?
Yeah.
We always change these.
We do this. So Brian and I have been excellent at every ODU football season. This will be my third ODU football season here, where we walk up to the piece of. Did you start it or did I start it?
Oh, I've been doing it before you were born.
Well, okay, fair enough. I meant with me, but August 30th at Indiana. against the Hoosiers, right?
I need a
College
pen.
football playoff team.
Right.
Scott Jackson said it yesterday with you guys. Grant Wilson, could very well get into that game.
And Grant Wilson is Old Dominion's former quarterback,
quarterback.
who transferred to Indiana.
Yes.
Kurt Cignetti, the former JMU coach.
I love that storyline as well. But the other thing too, I think it's important to note that Ricky Ronnie, gave Kurt Cignetti a heck of a game in Harrisonburg the last time they met up. Or no, well, yeah, last time they met up 2 years ago.
Sounds right.
So he
and
gave him,
He wasn't here last year.
because
Right.
Chesney came here this year. Yeah.
So the last time they met, he gave him one of his better games in the past couple of years. September 6th, North Carolina Central.
At home in Norfolk.
That's
that should
an
be a win.
interesting
That should
one.
be a win.
Yeah. September 13th in Blacksburg at Virginia Tech.
Now, this is an interesting game to me because I think, I say Ricky Ronnie, this is make or break year. I don't think his seat is nearly close to being as warm as Brent Pry's, entering week 3, depending on what happens with Brent Pry and the Hokies and their schedule, because they open up with South Carolina and Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Okay, so that first game is a very tough one.
I think they played Vanderbilt last year and lost, didn't they? Was that last year?
I don't remember.
think they-
No, because
Vandy beat
no.
Alabama, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that
Vandy
was
beat
last
Bama last year. Yeah.
No, it was 2 years. Yeah, you're right.
It was last year because I remember
Right, it was
being
last year. Yeah.
in Columbia for ODU South Carolina watching Vanderbilt Alabama on the
Right.
TV.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so Tech, that's an important game.
God, it would be amazing if Old Dominion could win that game.
In Blacksburg,
You could do it
too.
in Blacksburg, first one ever in series history. The 2 wins they got. We're here in Norfolk.
And Tech is putting the screws on Old Dominion. They pulled out of the home games.
Yep. Yeah.
So if ODU's ever going to get a win against Virginia Tech again, it's going to have to be at Lane Stadium.
Yeah. Tough place to play.
And then this team, man, coming up. Luckily there's a bye week after the Tech game, but then Liberty comes
Liberty
to
bye,
SB Valley
really
Stadium.
short bye.
Yeah.
And Old Dominion's only win against Liberty was in 2014 when Taylor Heineke was the quarterback, and that was a transition year for Old Dominion.
And
Been
now,
like 4. This will be like
Or
the
13, I'm sorry,
fifth
13.
all-time meeting or something. 4th or 5th all-time meeting.
and now the quarterback at Liberty is Chesapeake native and former Oscar Smith star Ethan Vasco.
Yeah.
Who transferred from Coastal Carolina.
So,
So
transferred
He'd committed to Old Dominion, didn't he? Initially,
out of high school.
Old Dominion,
Kansas,
Coastal, Liberty.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he was
Speaking
never
of
he didn't
Coastal,
come to Old Dominion.
bouncing around.
Speaking of Coastal, October 4th against the Chanticleers.
Yeah, they come here.
They're not on the level that they used to be under Chadwell.
No, they're still they're in a
But
little bit of a rebuild.
they're in
They
a little bit
did
of a
put a new
rebuild.
field down.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, they got the new surf turf.
Yeah,
Smurf turf.
Little, more vibrant.
looks pretty.
It
Not
does look
Smurf,
good.
I think
You
it's
remember
surf-
when we
surf
went to the Myrtle Beach Bowl? Didn't you? I thought it was like kind of ratty.
It was
field.
ratty.
It was
Yeah,
kind of
it
like
was.
matted down,
It was not. The color did not pop. It looked worn down.
yeah, it did. So they needed a new field.
Yeah.
October 11th at Marshall. That's a tough game. You go to Marshall.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Haven't had a lot of luck against the Thundering Herd, and that's. But I think this could be a year where they do. Excuse me, where they do have luck against them because Charles Huff, who was the head coach at Marshall, and they won the championship.
Yeah.
They won the Sun Belt championship, and he left to go to Southern Miss to stay in conference.
Yeah.
Bizarre move.
Weird one.
Weird thing all around.
Also will help Old Dominion's offensive line knowing that Mike Green is not coming after you.
Exactly.
That's a good thing.
true.
Yep.
We talk about tough environments to play, and how about October 18th at JMU on their homecoming night?
Oof.
That's going to be raucous. That's going to be raucous.
don't know,
James,
man.
you were there last time.
go.
It was right
It
down to the
was,
wire.
One of the best college football games that I have been to in person was that ODU JMU game.
Yeah.
Grant Wilson was on one.
Yeah.
JMU was fantastic. Jordan
Night game.
McLeod was still the quarterback.
Now,
at JMU.
next time we do this,
game.
this is a podcast forum. We can be loose about this,
Yeah.
right? You know what we should have done?
What's that?
We should have had a schedule
And
a schedule graphic.
to the left of the
Yeah.
screen. Hey,
Yeah.
next year, people, that's what
Rob.
we're going to, this is all a work in progress.
Rob Cobble.
We're just trying here. We're trying things out because I wish we could see this.
Yeah, I want to look at it.
This
right.
3-day, this 3-game stretch, I think, could tell the tale of the season.
Totally.
sure.
At Marshall, at JMU, home against App. Those are the 3 games that are going to make or break whether they contend for the Sun Belt East Division Championship.
And it was around this 6-7 week mark last year where ODU was in contention for the Sun Belt East. I mean, they were right around that half a game back type thing. Yeah, that's the 3-game stretch right there.
Yep.
And these, then it's at ULM, Louisiana Monroe.
Yep.
Troy
At
comes
home.
in. First time we played Troy in anything.
Yeah,
it feels like.
it doesn't even feel like Troy's in the Sun
I
Belt.
know,
We always
man.
Forget. We
I
always
know.
Like, how do we forget that?
And
That's
then
such a weird one.
at Georgia Southern versus Georgia State, and you talked to Ricky about the 1-score deal.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
all these close games.
It's interesting. It's a weird place to be because you feel like Brian kept saying it. They are on the cusp. Like although Ricky hasn't had the winning season, it's like, they're right there. Right? And they are right there. But like you said yesterday, it's like, man, you got to get over that hump. Like for the fans' sake, for your mental sanity, like you can't keep losing these one-score games. It goes back to that old joke we've said in the sports office before. It's like, if one of these Final Fours or one of these semifinal playoff games or something, it's like, I'd rather get blown out than like lose like a down to the wire heartbreaker. Like emotionally, I'm like, I think I'd just rather get blown out and say like, oh, we didn't have it today. You know, at least you could kind of go out like that. But with these down to the wires, like they hurt like longer and they ache.
They are tough.
So
well, we have Ronnie talking about these one-score games. Craig asking him about that.
Yep.
Coach, 6 of your 7 losses last year were 8 or less, and you go back to 2023. The number of one-score games has been insane. Like, how do you take that next step and finish those games that don't go your way in those one-possession close ones?
Yeah, I mean, if there was one thing, we would have got it solved during the year, right? So unfortunately, it was a number of different factors, and it wasn't always finishing. I mean, some of those games we were coming back on a furious, and so we didn't start well. Right, and so that's the part of the thing is, we got to play a 4-quarter game and we got to be consistent. That's what we have to do in order to win those games. And we know in the Sun Belt, we're going to play a majority of those games are going to be, one score. I mean, I think over our last 2 years, we've played 16 conference games and 14 of them have been by 1 score.
Man.
So,
it's a tough
now,
stat.
what I like to emphasize to the guys is those 2 that weren't by 1 score, we won both of those. So let's make sure we get more of those. The last 2 years, we're 7-0 and we don't turn the ball over. And in the Sun Belt and just Sun Belt games, I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but it's over 87%. If you win the turnover margin, then you win the game. So obviously those are things we're going to concentrate on both sides, taking the ball away and protecting it.
Yeah, classic football adage, right? Take it away and don't turn it over. I mean, that's football 101.
I mean, they were in the red.
Yeah, they were 90th. They finished ranked 90th in turnover margin last year. It was like just under, I guess, minus 0.25 was the number. So
Blake Seiler, defensive coordinator, he's back along with all the coordinators that Ricky brought back, and he's going to have a heck of a defense with the linebacking core is going to be great. Yeah, Jason Henderson,
they're deep.
Ko Nawatala.
We hope Henderson and Koa
was on crutches yesterday,
and the only thing we could get out of him was
I asked,
I will be back this season.
He said, I'll be back this season. I said, not the opener. He goes, this season.
Yeah.
So he was on crutches. He had a leg sleeve on. He didn't disclose his injury.
We're a little alarmed yesterday when we didn't see Jason Henderson at media day.
We were a little. We didn't know what was going on.
But he had in the previous appointment that he couldn't break. So.
ODU Sports Information Director Eric Bohannon confirmed Jason was not at media day because he had a previous commitment. So
he wasn't in the team picture. What are they going to do? Are they going to put a little AI,
Photoshop him,
a little CG or something, put him in there?
AI Jason Henderson.
the AI Jason Henderson.
Just take the one from last year, assuming they're wearing the same jersey. Do
the AI Jason Henderson like they did the WAVY van on the beach.
Oh my goodness! Who took that footage?
Yeah,
my goodness. Magic camera.
In terms of this team, you want to get back to a bowl game, man. So you want to compete. I mean, you want to compete for the Sun Belt East. Like if they could win the Sun Belt and play in the Sun Belt title, how cool. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brian or James. The Sun Belt Championship is on campus location. It's not a neutral site game.
Yes.
There's a possibility. I mean, a lot has to happen. But, what if,
A Sun Belt Conference Championship game
at FC Ballard.
And I'm just throwing this out there, okay? How many division or FBS schools are there? There's 136 or something like that. Okay.
30 plus.
12 teams. How many teams? 12 teams make the playoffs.
Right.
One of those teams has to be from the group of 4, group of 5, whatever it's called now, the non-power conferences.
Right.
Why not?
You got to be.
Why not?
You got to be
what a
11 and you got to be 12-1. You got to be.
You've got to beat Indiana. You've got to beat Liberty, and you probably got to beat Virginia Tech, and you probably can't lose a conference game. You got to go undefeated.
Well, actually, did Boise State win their conference championship last year?
Yeah. They won the Mountain. I watched that game live.
They lost to Oregon. Their only loss was to Oregon, and they almost won that game.
I watched that game. I watched that game live, too, at the end. I downloaded Peacock for that to watch the Oregon game. Boise State, Cincinnati in recent. Oh, Cincinnati's they're in the. When did Cincinnati made the playoff? Were they even in the Big 12 yet?
No.
Are you sure?
I don't think so.
They were in the American.
They were in the American.
And we could talk about the the New Year's 6 bowl game,
right,
as essentially being the playoff spot
at this point.
So you got Liberty, you've got Western Michigan, you've got Northern Illinois. Some of the teams that have done it in the past.
Yeah, I mean Liberty last year played Oregon. Liberty had
2 years ago.
Oh, it was 2 years ago.
They were the last non-playoff I think, right?
Yeah. So Liberty went like 11-1 that year, or 12-1.
But that's essentially what the playoff.
The Fiesta Bowl. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You get that big money
against
bowl
Oregon.
game.
They got blown out against the Ducks, 49-0 or something. But
So, it's like, why not anybody but JMU, right? Those Dukes seem to be
Friendly rivalry, as you told me 2 years ago.
Everything they touch turns to gold lately.
what a transition they've been since moving up.
Every
It's
sport.
It's been very impressive. You got to respect the culture and something in the water or something in the air out there.
Like when Old Dominion moved up, Madison had a chance to go to the Sun Belt back then, along with App State and Georgia Southern and Coastal Carolina. And they said, we're going to wait.
Yeah.
We're going to wait and build up and then reevaluate the landscape.
Right.
And it was the smartest thing they ever did.
Very smart move. Yeah. Talking about seeing the future right there.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they could. You run with all this conference realignment. I just can't imagine. Like, I want to know what the American Conference is going to do in the future, because they kind of seem to have the bigger brands, so to speak. And I think App State and James Madison would be very attractive.
Gosh, it never ends, does it?
No,
it never ends.
It doesn't.
Like the Sun Belt just got started. Like, why are we talking?
I know.
Why is it even in your head? It should be like 20 years from now. That shouldn't even be a thing.
I know.
All right, let's take our final break, and we're going to come back. We got William and Mary to talk about. We got Hampton to talk about. And we got sound bites from both coaches and some players. We'll be right back on the Sportswrap Overtime Special. Okay, we're back. Sportswrap Overtime Special 2025 College Football Preview continuing here. We did Norfolk State. We did Old Dominion. We're going to get into William and Mary, the Tribe. 7-5 last year, and Mike London back for another season in Williamsburg. August 30th at Furman, the season opener. And William and Mary trying to get back to those FCS playoffs like they did a few years ago with Bronson Yoder and Malachi Emo and some of those guys. This is a way different team.
Hollywood, Hollis Mathis, all those guys. It almost became, for us covering the team, like household names almost. We just like felt a kinship with these names.
Ended up losing up to Montana State in the quarters. Went out there and
that's
freezing temperatures.
That's Pittsburgh Steeler, Hollywood Hollis Mathis.
Yes, indeed. How about that?
Getting a shot? Okay.
Yes.
Good for him.
The last year that William and Mary will be in the CAA.
Correct.
In football. In football.
Yes.
In football.
Yeah.
And they're moving to the Patriot League. Richmond has already made the move. Villanova is going to be making the move. The CAA football, a little shaky ground right now. It's the William and Mary, Richmond, and Villanova see greener pastures in the Patriot League, which has really kind of been on the upside.
This is now we're going big picture too, but when did the domino start? Was it like Missouri and Texas A&M leaving for the SEC? Was it before that? Was it like the Big East when that broke up years ago? I was just curious, it's all dominoed from at some point. But when was like the start?
I think the start.
It's always been a thing.
Was when the ACC started gobbling up the Big East.
Right. That's how I feel. In the modern,
when the Big East
not talking about like the Big Eight, the Texas schools, the Big Eight.
Then the Big East / American, if we're going to talk about football. Then the American gobbled up Conference USA. Conference USA gobbled up the Sun Belt. Conference USA continued to get gobbled up, and then it put the Sun Belt in a position where they were able to gobble up Conference USA, so they jumped. It's a whole thing.
It's a trickle effect is what I'm saying. Even for the FCS level, it's a trickle effect.
The one that triggered this most recent one, though, was the Texas-Oklahoma.
Correct.
Thank you.
That's what I was kind of getting at. What was the more recent
That's what triggered it.
Right, exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
So going back to this Tribes team, though, briefly, this is a team that I went to Media Day. This is a team that has turned over a lot of old veteran talent that has really been a glue pieces for this program. So I talked to head coach Mike London. I asked him, how do you kind of transition out of that era into the next era of Tribe football? Coach, first things first, when you have so many 6-year guys that kind of set a foundation in this program the past couple of years that are no longer here, what does that look like now? What do you tell the guys that are filling those roles and filling those shoes that the Hollis Mathises, Malachi Emos, Bronson Yoders left here?
Oh, we always talk about the next man up mentality, and fortunately we have such a leadership group here, captains and guys that have been here in the past that have risen to the level of now being in a position to talk about, there's expectations about this program. It's great to have winning seasons, but we want a taste of that championship again. We experienced in 2022, and that's an expectation of pursuing the opportunity in 2025. And our team, I was a guy that we signed 13 high school kids, but we also added 8 transfer portal guys.
It's new for them.
As you talked about, losing that 6-year COVID guys, we also brought in some position guys that can fit some of those needs. And so you put the roster together, you sign the high school kids, you bring a couple more transfer portal guys that wanted to walk on to this place because of the grad schools, PWOs that get in on school on their own, but they're very accomplished players. And you add that together, there's 32 new players on this team, and there's a changeover. But at the same time, the leadership that we have, you've talked to a couple of them, it resoundingly, it's like we're competing for championships.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah. Also worth noting that they just brought in the offensive coordinator from Richmond, who just led that offense to a CAA conference championship, Coach October, coming in to head the offense for William and Mary this year. So maybe we see a very dynamic offense for the Tribe. One thing that I do want to point out in years past, I am curious what the quarterbacking play of William and Mary is going to look like, because for the past couple of seasons, it's been like 3, 4, 5 tool guys that can run really well, that play a lot of different positions, but aren't really like designated quarterbacks.
Right. Well, they've had traditionally, they had a great offensive line anchored by a NFL player.
Couple NFL draft picks in recent years.
They were really run heavy. They were kind of a run heavy team.
They were.
And, kind of gimmick packages with the passes and things like that.
They ran a lot of that pistol. They were Sports Illustrated did a big, huge feature article on that OC that ended
Chris
up going
Taylor
from Buffalo.
To
He's
the
with
Bills,
the Bills now.
Special advisor with
the
the
Bills. They did a whole Sports Illustrated article on him and his unique sort of way he viewed the game, but and used these quarterbacks. But then Bronson Yoder and Emo and those guys, they were leading the country in rushing and all that type of stuff. So
schedule highlighted.
Look different.
They go to UVA.
Like they did, 2 years ago?
I was at that game.
That was a little good game for a little while.
John Pius balled out.
I believe
that
in
game.
2009, the Tribe. I think it was 2009, but the Tribe did beat UVA at Scott Stadium before.
Was Mike Lennon the head coach that year?
Yeah, that might have been one of the things that kind of like knocked him, or that might have been Al Groh. I don't remember, but it was a good moment for Jimmy Laycock. Yeah. They end the season against Richmond, as they always do traditionally.
Yeah. What's that? One of the oldest rivalries in all of it.
What's the South's
oldest rivalry?
Right, something like that, or is that UVA UNC? It's one of those.
That's the way they brand it.
If I may, before we move on to our last team, which is our last team, Hampton turning into an out-of-conference game next year kind of hurts a little bit. Having to schedule that as an out-of-conference game now that you moved to the Patriot League.
Yeah.
But how do you know they're going to schedule?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they might not play.
That's kind of my point.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of stinks.
Yeah, you like to see. I mean, based on our profession, we love to see all the local teams play each other. Like Hampton, William and Mary. I've yet to see William and Mary and ODU play. I've never seen that. I've never seen Norfolk State play ODU football. Like you did some of those games in the past.
Yeah, I've seen them play all of them.
I want to see it every year. So yeah.
Moving on, staying in the CAA, the Hampton Pirates, Hampton University, CAA. They picked to finish 11th in the league. 2-6 in conference, 5-7 overall. Trent Boykin back as head coach. He loses his quarterback Chris Zellis. Mm-hmm. He says
QB competition,
4-man competition down to 2.
Yeah.
I asked him, will you platoon? He goes, we'll see how it goes. But you want that one guy. You want the guy. You
gotta have a guy.
You want the guy.
Yeah.
What's the old joke? If you have two, you don't have one.
You don't have one. Right.
That's how it goes, right?
Right.
And pretty cool season opener for them. How about that at Jackson State?
Crazy place, man. And say what you want. Even though Deion's gone, that place still, before Deion and after Deion, Jackson State packs it out at War Memorial Stadium.
He did not put them on the map. They were already on the map.
They were already on the map.
Right. I mean, 30,000 a game.
In Jackson, Mississippi, they show up for those games. It's a huge HBCU culture. It's huge. I mean, it's really cool to go to some of those games at Jackson State. It's going to be a hostile environment.
And Hampton has the pleasure of hosting Norfolk State this year.
Yeah. That's always going to make for a good one, right?
October 4th.
That's one we love those games.
That's going to be crazy.
Yeah. So Elizabeth City State, good. I mean, A&T. Did they play A&T last year? I think they did. Yeah, they did. Yeah. Right, clearly. No, so yeah, you like Trent. We've talked. You had conversations with him in recent years.
Yeah, I like him.
Seems like he's trying to get things on the right track, man. But this thing is, what does Mike Tomlin say? This is a results-based business. Like,
Yep.
you got to win. You got to win. Like, I know they're in the CAA. They're kind of punching above their weight the first couple years, but those excuses only last for so long. Like, you want to go out there and compete, and you want to see it on the field week to week, like, of your guys competing.
We asked Coach Boykin last week, what do we expect from this team this year?
Young but eager, young but aggressive, young and hungry. And so, we're going to be a young team, but the expectations are high for us, and we feel like we got talent. And so at the end of the day, if you got talent, you got a chance.
Now, last year there were some of these games that you proved that you can win games, obviously. You proved that you can be in competitive games with top-tier teams. I point to the Villanova game, for example. I feel like that's a game maybe that got away from you guys that you probably should have won. What's the difference between winning and losing those games going forward?
I mean, again, the cliche thing is the inches, a play here, a play there. And that's the thing that, we've been stressing, since winter conditioning and summer, and now is just, hey, you have to be locked in on the small details. You have to be in the right gaps. You have to be able to execute, and again, especially with the quarterbacks, I don't need hero ball at times. Sometimes I just need the throw the 5-yard out and complete it. Sometimes it's just throw the ball away and let us punt, instead of forcing something and it's a turnover. Hey, it's okay to punt. And so those little things like that, I think will help us this season in those type of games.
Looking at the schedule here, if it comes down to it or things are close at the end, playing 3 out of 4 at home.
How about that?
That's pretty nice.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Now, what do you think? You're a former D1 college football player. What do you think about what he just said about that?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, it's like Ronnie said earlier, it's hard to pinpoint, like, how do you win this exact game? Because the ball can bounce so many different ways. If you want to be really football cliche, it's alignment, assignment, and playing mistake-free. That's really like how much preparation you're doing, what you're seeing on tape. Can you see a play before it happens? Little stuff like that. Then, X's, Jimmy's and Joe's over X's and O's?
Yeah, right, yeah.
Honestly, to be able to hand it off to someone and they take it 50, 60 yards, like that always helps. Or to be able to hit a big play, or your quarterback can get loose around a corner, like that is ultimately going to trump like any sort of quote unquote, play call. You gotta have playmakers. But
so we wish the Pirates well. Let's get into Tech and UVA real quick.
Yeah.
The Hokies, Brent Pry back for another season. There hasn't been roses.
Nope. Kyron Drones is back though.
Yeah, that's going to be good, and a lot of local talent, which we'd like to see, and hopefully
so
that
much local talent
continues.
Yeah.
But some of your they play Old Dominion, Vanderbilt, South Carolina.
If they can somehow
Wofford.
compete in that South Carolina game and pull it off, that would put college football kind of on notice, at least for 1 week.
Where is that game? Is that game special? Is it somewhere different?
It is. I think it's in a neutral site.
South Carolina, Virginia Tech.
Maybe
is it in Atlanta?
It might be in Atlanta.
I think it is in Atlanta.
Brent Pry would love nothing more than to defeat Shane Beamer.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Seriously.
There is a little bit of a connection there.
Yeah. Frank will be in attendance somewhere.
And Tech closes the season. I love this. Miami and then at UVA. It's like the Big East days,
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, good. That's good.
And then UVA, Tony Elliott.
Yeah, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Atlanta.
Yeah.
We don't know who the quarterback is. Coastal Carolina. They opened with Coastal Carolina. Non-conference, they've got William and Mary. Washington State.
Oh,
I like that.
The Pac-2 is still trying to get together.
Baby.
Classic ACC matchups against Stanford and California.
Classic.
Staples.
Yeah.
Yeah, UVA. I don't know, man. I just don't thinking. I don't know, man.
Year 4 for I don't know. UVA is such an interesting case study, as like a operation, because it's like, what is the expectations? Like, what is Tony Elliott really expected to do?
It's just tough, man. Because
I remember expected to compete.
I remember the glory days when George Welsh was the coach and he had NFL draft picks and they were ranked number 1 in the country and they were a top 10 team going to bowl games every year and winning 10 games every year.
It's crazy. It is crazy.
Every year.
Same with Tech, though. I mean, Tech, we went through the list with Beamer. I mean, Beamer, there was like a 6-7 year window where they didn't lose any less than 11 games.
Yeah, but Tech is more, I feel Tech is closer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Tech is definitely closer.
UVA, I don't know, man.
I just like a conundrum in terms of overall big picture where the program's at. Like the expectations for Elliott, like, what are you going to fire him if he doesn't?
I just think UVA's in a bad spot altogether, man.
You gotta
I really do.
Bowl game.
All sports. They just lost their baseball coach. They just lost their basketball coach before the season started.
Right.
Their football
Yeah,
hasn't
that's
done
crazy.
anything.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a weird spot as a program. For
Yeah,
sure.
UVA, man, the prestige, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's going to do it all for Sportswrap Overtime Special. Hope you enjoyed it. We got to a lot of good stuff there. So for Brian Parsons and James Kattato, I'm Craig Loper signing off. Share it with your friends and family, and we will see you next time.